Good morning. I'm sat here at Plaster Arts waiting for the beginning of the second day of the ISPA Congress. I thought I'd change the scenery a little bit for today's video rather than being in my hotel room. So it's quite a nice mild day, it's a little bit breezy, but as you can see it's nice surroundings. Yesterday we had the second day of the Anthony Field Academy, which took us up until lunchtime, and then the Congress began properly after 12 o'clock. So the Anthony Field Academy was really, it was quite a lot came out of the morning session. There was a real sense that people were thinking about themselves and their identities and their places of in the world, and I mean it was really well facilitated. The day, and we were all kind of asked questions of what we're doing going forward and what we're going to take away from this, and there was a real kind of sense of profound kind of decision making that was happening in the room. People were in a circle and people were kind of really giving quite a lot to the group, which I think is a real statement of how successful the day was and how as a group we really kind of bonded quite quickly. You know, lots of decisions were made for how to progress people in terms of their organisations, lots of people making decisions about actually themselves personally. And I think that was a big theme that came out of yesterday, was about personal identity rather than collective identities, about individual identity, and something that kind of hadn't necessarily been something I thought about before coming into the week. I think we went into the Congress proper and we had our first kind of session on our keynote speeches. And again, a lot of the conversation seemed to be focused around individual identity, shaped by collective identity, so shaped by nationality, shaped by religion, shaped by the kind of the career choices and the life choices we made, and what those kind of industries, for example, kind of mean in terms of who you are and what you do. But actually, kind of going, everyone's unique, and it's everyone's a kind of mishmash and a smorgasbord of different kind of potentially unique identities, which makes up one separate identity, which is them. So. You know, it was something that really kind of hit home yesterday about this idea of individual identity. You know, and it's something that naturally, with the attacks on Manchester recently, this idea of going, you need to talk about individual identity rather than the collective, and rather than kind of demonising people based on who they are and what their skin colour is, what their religion is, of going, one person makes a decision themselves, and it's not a decision that's a reflection of a collective identity. You know, as artists, you know, what we do in terms of our art is individual and it's personal. It's shaped by the collectives that we're in and the kind of groups we're a part of, but it doesn't define our identity. You know, the panel speakers in the first session all talked about the uniqueness of their identities and these kind of combinations of who they are and where they're coming from, and how they were quite unique mixes that made them who they were. And you know, we had a kind of dinner later with some of the fellows, and again the conversation was about who we were uniquely and our unique situations. And there was definitely a case that we were talking about a lot of things, and there was a lot of overlap between our own experiences and some of the problems we face and some of the positive things that are in our work. And there was a sense of overlapping, and that we could support each other and we could relate to each other in many ways, but also our situations were still unique, because actually we are different people, and how we react to those things are quite unique situations. You know, I don't know what's going to happen today. I mean, today is the day when we have the Pitch New Works and the Pro X, which is a slightly more corporate kind of slant on the Congress, really. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what's being pitched. I was surprised at the Pitch New Works last year, quite how in depth it was, and the content of the programs and the projects that were being pitched. You know, we have more sessions later on in the day. But yeah, I mean, that sense of individual identity was something that really kind of hammered home yesterday. And it kind of felt like, okay, there's something that's broken through in terms of what this Congress means to me. Yeah, it's something that's still going to percolate for the next few days. But yeah, we'll see how today goes. We'll see what happens with Pro X and what the new works being pitched are, and kind of generally what happens afterwards. We're going to go and see Cirque du Soleil in the evening, which is quite cool. Seeing Cirque du Soleil in a home of Cirque du Soleil, that's quite a nice treat. I didn't see much work in New York in January, so I kind of feel determined to go and see something. And Cirque du Soleil is not a bad choice. So yeah, so that'll be what happens today. But yeah, I'm sure lots of thoughts will continue to float around in my head. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'll let everyone know what my thoughts are on today. But yeah, until then, catch you guys later.